Hi, good evening, good evening. Thanks for joining me tonight. And tonight we're gonna keep on speaking about our soul. And it has taken me 3 videos to talk about the wounding that our soul has, and how important it is to identify and know the lessons that our soul, right? Our soul, I'm always explaining how our soul came to learn. We came to learn here and experience emotional situations, right? Or lessons that are gonna make us expand our energy and learn from them. So tonight I'm gonna keep on helping you identify these wounds in order so that we can learn how to heal them. Okay, work on them and heal them, finally face them, and understand that these lessons and these wounding that we have are the reasons for everything in the universe, okay, in the world. They are the reason for disease. They are the reason for diseases in our lives. And when we don't face them, when we don't fully face them, we bypass them, what we're doing is that, since these are energies that need to be purged from our body, they sicken us, right? They grow with time. They expand. They keep on expanding. And they take a toll in our lives. And since we all want to live lives where we have well-being, where we have good lives, right? Happy lives, happiness, inner peace, all these things. Well, the way through that is that we need to take accountability for this wounding that we are carrying, and for once and all, face it and release it. Release it, purge it from our bodies. And so today I'm going to be speaking about 3 more wounds. The last ones I'm going to be addressing in this last video. This is video number 3. And the first wound I'm going to be speaking today about is the wound of talent. The wound of talent. And it talks about these people specifically that feel that they are not recognized or noticed for their specialness. Let's say they might feel like they fade into the background. In some cases, this person may actually feel disliked, but they can also just feel ignored or unnoticed. They will feel that they are not talented enough, not noticed for their talent, or generally unremarkable. Okay? What is funny is that these people are often pretty much talented in some way. They can have issues related to how they feel about their talent, as well as ego issues surrounding other people's adoration of them. Okay? This is usually because although they try to show their talent to others, they aren't actually convinced deep down that they have any talent at all. At its core, they develop a fear of joining in without a talent or reason. And in reality, the person can join in groups or live just for the sake of existing, right? They are special just for being themselves, but feel worthless and do not realize this. And how will this wound manifest in a person? What is the behavioral patterns that we're going to observe in a person that has this wounding, okay? Because as I said before, we can have a mixture of many wounds, okay? But there is one core one that is going to be more painful and difficult for us to overcome, okay? So how does the wound manifest? This one, in the first case, the person may try their hardest to be recognized, respected, or loved. They may try to get appreciation or attention and often attempt to be famous, right? In some manner. They will do this to try and prove to themselves that they have no reason to feel unworthy. But that does not change the core feelings that they still have down deep inside, okay? In the second case, the person feels so unworthy of being the center of attention that they avoid the spotlight by any means possible. They will support others in this role, often children, by trying to help others gain notoriety and become successful in the spotlight. In both cases, the person will be unusually sensitive to criticism. This insecurity can cause them to read into a situation and feel that they've been criticized when it isn't true. They have a strong fear of rejection stemming from their own feelings of worthlessness. I typically find that these people were stunned in some way from expressing themselves creatively. This person probably did not get sufficient recognition from their parents during early childhood for their ideas or talents, and this left them feeling worthless. The child may have felt unimportant, unseen, or dismissed. They just weren't noticed, or worse, right? They were noticed in a bad way, such as their parents remarking on their lack of talent. And maybe being bullied even, right? For the talent they had. It happens. It happens a lot. So how do we heal this wound if we feel identified with it? This person needs to learn how to heal the inner child and accept themselves. It is the lack of self-acceptance and self-praise that causes the wound. Although the person probably thinks it is the lack of acceptance from others, okay? The key is to recognize that this person has it within their power to realize how special they are and to share their gift to the universe. With this wound, they have a really important place in the world, as does everyone, right? And a unique gift to offer, but it is up to them to work through the trauma and find it. Inner child work may be extremely helpful if the individual finds that these issues do stem from childhood. But I'll tell you right now, these traumas and these wounds that we all have, no exceptions, okay? They all stem and they all present themselves since childhood. It doesn't matter the quality of the childhood that we had, okay? I'm not here to criticize no parent. I am a parent myself, okay? But it's important for us to understand that when we are children, when we are small, we are a child, we are living our lives through emotions, purely emotions, up to our age 7, okay? 7th year, and these wounds will stay there. And we don't know that we're carrying them, okay? we're unaware, mostly unaware. Some of us do know, but others don't. And we go through life unknowing that these are the causes for all our demises, okay? So, second, the wound of belief. The second one I'm gonna be speaking about tonight is the wound of, it's called the wound of belief. And even though you're probably very good at logically thinking about beliefs, you might feel like you're on a never-ending search to actually discover your own. Nothing ever feels permanent. You just don't know what the purpose of life really is, no matter how hard you try. This wound is all about disconnection, right? The soul disconnected from the body, okay? So, which means the same thing as your emotion, you're disconnected, you don't recognize your emotions, how you're feeling, okay? It's the same thing. Soul disconnected from the body. So you feel disconnected from your beliefs, yet you don't even know what they really are. So you don't even know what you believe in. You just can't figure out what it all means. You might feel like life is totally meaningless and pointless, or instead you might think there is a point to life, but you just can't figure it out, right? What it is. So how will the wound manifest itself? What are the behaviors we see in people that have this wound prominently, right? Because, like I said, we can have a mixture, but we do have a core one, a core wound. In the first scenario, you might avoid thinking about a higher power. You feel that life is meaningless and you just can't find purpose in any of it. So you choose to simply ignore it. You may shut off a part of your nature in order to stop the big picture thinking, right, from happening. You may also feel bitter that there isn't anything out there. This is the atheist who is angry at God for not existing, okay? Alternatively, you go to any lengths in order to find meaning and purpose. You might rely on others for answers and information, but you can never really use the information that you do get constructively. You might feel like nothing assimilates for you. Sometimes these people spend their entire lives searching for the answers. Other times they become fanatical about religion or other belief systems, even though they don't feel that any one system answers all of their questions deep down. Typically, this wound comes from a past life trauma that caused you to stop believing in whatever it is you felt passionately about. So yes, this could be quite literally any kind of trauma, okay? Whatever happened to you, the key issue is that you thought that the trauma happened because God or the universe, whatever it is that you want to believe in or you think, or your belief system in general wasn't there for you, okay? You felt that you were left alone, so it must not be real. So on the other hand, you might have been taught during your childhood that there is nothing out there, or that you can't rely on beliefs or religion. You might have searched for something without ever finding it. And how can we heal this wound? Okay? Well, to heal, you must first recognize that you're searching for meaning through philosophy or religion, when really what you seek is a connection with your higher self. And another word for your higher self is your soul. And another word for soul are your emotions, okay? I am always gonna say your emotions are the only common grounds between the spiritual and the physical, okay? So you're disconnected from your emotions. And because of that, you feel that separation, when truly it is always within us. So contrary to the title of higher self, right? Your higher self isn't far away and above, okay? But within you. And that you and it has to do with more emotional self-awareness. Okay, emotional self-awareness. You struggle to assimilate your beliefs, not because belief systems aren't real, but because the pieces of your own self, your emotions, are not yet assimilated. When we are able to face, understand, and accept ourselves and our wounding and how they happen, instead of bypassing them, we heal. So I recommend that you work on assimilating yourself through inner child and higher self or shadow work, okay? Self-awareness, also mindfulness. You have many different parts of you that feel separate but can come together with a bit of work. The other thing that may help is to recognize that life is a journey. Our purpose on earth is not to reach a destination, and I'm always gonna say this, but to continue to learn until we grow old. Because learning, expanding, which is what the soul came to do and does all the time, because energy only grows, okay? Cannot stop from growing. So this is our purpose. Our universal purpose is to grow. So it is not about the destination, okay? It is about that growth, and never stopping from growing. Even if your wound takes you on a lifelong journey to find out what is real out there, it's okay. Learning to recognize that the journey is beautiful will help you to accept your wound while you work on your trauma, okay? So, the third wound, and not least, is the wound of family, okay? And this wound is a very hard wound. This wound is all about a core belief that one are unlovable and have been abandoned. And how will this wound manifest, okay? In the first scenario, the person will withdraw from love. They will only pursue relationships with unattainable or unavailable, right, people, or those who are definitely not interested, okay? Unavailable from a space of perhaps emotionally unavailable or physically also unavailable, which only reinforces the idea that this person is unlovable for them, right? They may they may fantasize about people who they can never have a successful relationship with, or they may live the single life indefinitely. In this scenario, the person might also technically enter into relationships but refuse to actually open up. They are so afraid of losing nurture as they did in childhood, okay, that they never try to get it in the first place. This person's fears of loss is the main issue here, but this stems from the original wound. Alternatively, in the second scenario, the person will go overboard, nurturing others. They may smother their partners and friends and become the typical needy, right? Needy person or individual who is looking for emotional attention and validation 24/7. Okay? This person is often wounded by family in some way. There is some sort of early childhood family trauma that led to core feelings of loneliness, emotional pain, or emptiness. This person usually does feel that love exists, but may not be able to find it. They may also think that they are just unworthy of it and have extremely low self-esteem. The person has a constant nagging feeling of emptiness. They search for ways to fill this hole up. They often over-idealize partners by putting them on a pedestal in order to distract from their own inner turmoil. But they have extremely painful breakups when these relationships inevitably fail. When a relationship does end, the person will feel as though they have lost everything. They don't know how to exist without the other person because they used the relationship to compensate for their own wound. They are especially vulnerable around family. This hole inside them feels extra painful around family members, and they may act different to try and gain any sort of praise, attention, love, etc. When what they are really seeking is nurture and acceptance. They will probably go to any lengths to get love from other people, especially family and intimate friends. They may pretend to be someone they are not, self-sacrifice for others, lie, or delude themselves about who the other person is. The thing that matters most to these natives is replacing the hole inside themselves with love. Where does the wound come from? Okay, this wound, this family wound, almost always comes from early experiences with family. Often this person has core issues with the mother. It is also possible to have this wound due to the father or family in general, okay? I'm always gonna say it. It is very related to the mother, although it can come because this person was abandoned by a father also, or by a main caretaker, okay, when they were small, when they were a child. Look to the person's childhood again and see if there is some emotional malnourishment, abandonment, or even abuse. Okay? Regardless of the person's attitude towards the parent in question, is marked by idealization, okay? By the parent in question is marked by idealization or by contempt, either or, okay? If they have lost if they have lost one of their parents early on when they were a child, for any reason, they are mostly inclined towards idealization, idealizing people, okay? And the idealization of love and nurturing and all that. If they were actually abandoned, both emotionally or physically, they are inclined towards disappointment and contempt. And they may also swing back and forth. They may do both, idealize, right? And contempt, both of them. So how we can heal? How we can heal if you feel that you carry this wound? Because I'm going to repeat it, we can have many of them. But we are always going to have one core one that's going to stand out more than the others. This person's instinct is to avoid or band-aid the pain. But this is only a temporary fix. Instead, they will need to go through the pain, right? Not bypass it. More than any other wound, this one requires therapeutic-like work to heal. So we may need a therapist for this, okay? And if traditional therapy isn't an option for you, because there's a lot of people that don't like visiting, then I recommend reading books or watching YouTube videos on this type of abandonment, right? Abandonment, how to deal with contempt and abandonment. You will want to search for material that aids in healing family issues, mother issues, codependency, any type of codependency, because this codependency can be both emotional and economical codependency. Working with attachment styles. How do we emotionally attach to things? Okay? To material things or to people. And developing boundaries, right? If we ever did develop boundaries, healthy boundaries in our lives. It is hard work, but it is incredibly worth to heal, okay? Because this person has so much pain and has successfully worked through it when we do work through it, that they can be some of the most loving and caring people on earth, okay? So with this last one, I leave you tonight, hoping this information has been of a lot of benefit for you. Asking you, as always, please, to help me spread this message, this healing message to the world. Become a conduit, right, for the rest of the people. Help others the same way you're being helped, okay? So share the love, share the help. I'm sending you a lot of light, a lot of love, and see you next week here in the Mingles of Evo Life. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.